Welcome everyone to our Regeneration event. This is the Equinox 2021, and I love the vision that we got in 2020 to really create the new earth that we want in 2021 and all of the future generations to come. We're really excited that we've been partnering here at Brave New Life with Earth Heroes, and Shay, you've been working behind the scenes for the last couple of years, and you and Jay there in Australia. Souvereign was there in Bali. He'll be joining us soon, having some technical difficulties. But I would love for you to open up this conversation to share a little bit about your movie, what insight you gleaned in doing it, and what message you want to give across to everyone that's tuning in tonight or today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Imani, and thanks to River, Jay, Elijah, and Christina for joining this conversation. But most important, thank you guys for watching right now. I just wanted to share the last 2 years we've been working on this project, which has come in the form of visual storytelling through a 75-minute film. And it's been truly a passion project, a labor of love that we've put so much time and energy and effort into this film that really focuses on just ordinary people like you and me who are doing extraordinary things in the world. And that is something that we really wanted to highlight in this film, are these positive messages, these uplifted, these good examples of ways that we can contribute back to our environment, regenerate ourselves and our communities so that we can make a positive impact in the world and contribute to this tremendously changing world that we find ourselves in. Over the 2 years, we focused on these organizations that many have changed. Some are no longer operating anymore. Other organizations are doing new projects and new activities, and some of the communities didn't quite come into full fruition. And that is a really key message that I want to share, is that we have never seen so much change in such short time, and actually we get to be a part of that change. And this film is just a reminder. It's a 75-minute little snippet into a new world, a new opportunity to explore what it takes to be part of the regeneration. And something that I love in this collaboration with Imani and Souvereign and the Brave New Life community and all of you guys watching is that, and what the film touches on, is that we are all invited to step into our own brave, unique new life and play a role in the collective shift that we're actually moving through. And the exciting thing about being part of this community is that there are so many people who are activated already and contributing to the change. And our main purpose with the film in that sense is to reach a large audience, an audience that maybe is on the edge of dipping their toes into what it takes to be a change maker, or they're looking at new opportunities into how they can contribute to having a positive impact. And again, it's a simple reminder how we can each, take responsibility for our lives, for our families and our friends, and importantly, the environment, the earth that we find ourselves on. Because without, fresh air to breathe, without clean water to drink, without beautiful landscapes to live on and cultivate food to survive, we would no longer be in this world. And so the message of the film actually goes one step further than survival. It really looks at not just how we can survive in the world, but really, truly how we can survive as human beings and what that takes. And we're not suggesting that we know all the answers and we have all the solutions. But again, these are just some simple little reminders that we could take on in our own lives to contribute to having a positive impact again. So it's with really great excitement that we get to open up this conversation, because that is our intention as well, is that this movie becomes a catalyst for a conversation to begin on ways that we can cultivate more deeper connections to community. And what does that really mean? How we can grow our own food, how we can just have a small little doorway into what's really possible when we connect, when we harmonize our energy, when we work towards a single positive cause. So without further ado, it's been a long time in the making, and it's really exciting to be able to have this chat. So thank you, Imani.
Well, Shay, it's just, as Souvereign always speaks to, the hero's journey, and it was a beautiful exploration of your hero's journey, which you're still on. I mean, you have this gorgeous river in the background there with your family in Australia, tuning in from, what are you about to do over there? What are you guys?
Yeah, so we're on our way out to the Great Barrier Reef, and that is a huge part of my hero's journey, is the fact that I've been born in a place, I'm from extreme privilege. I'm here in Far North Queensland, one of the most luscious places in the world. I've got an amazing family and network, and we've even been in a bubble since over the last 12 months with a lot that has been going on in the world. Yet we're still all susceptible to life challenges, adversities, and hardship. And part of that, for me, has been waking up to realize the extent that the troubles of our environment. I'm heading out to the Great Barrier Reef currently, and even still here, a lot of the marine life is somewhat struggling. The coral reefs are being bleached and are dying. Yet I'm going snorkeling today, and I guarantee you I'll still find Nemo, I'll still find turtles, I'll still find marine life that is thriving and beautiful. And just like humans on the ecosystem of land, we have such tremendous diversity and capacity to be a part of the change, to contribute back in a positive way. And there is still so much beauty to discover in this world. And that's what really excites me about this film, is that it takes us all on a journey to look at the beauty and the magnificence of life on this planet that is alive, that is breathing, that is well, that is healthy. And then furthermore opens up the question, how do we contribute? What does it take? What am I willing to do in order to be an inspirational change maker in the world today?
Well, it's been so wonderful to have you contributing to our conversations at Brave New Life. The relationship that you and Souvereign had through this journey, because he's featured in the film, and then how you've woven together what you've done at Earth Heroes TV, sharing the film. But it's been such a natural exploration for us as we are all navigating through these times. So you're such an inspiration, Shay. I love how you share your love and passion and just hope for humanity. Not just in the film, but in the conversations and how you're supporting what we're doing. And it's been just so wonderful to get to know you through all of this. So I'm really excited to share this with everyone. And I think also what you said, as far as this being a catalytic conversation, this is really to get people thinking, and that's what we're all coming here to do. I think so many of us have pivoted. I know myself, I have in the last, year especially. And so there were so many things in the film that touched me as a mother of 6 who was really passionate about a lot of the same issues that you outlined in the film, and just how we've all been kind of shape-shifting and understanding things at much deeper levels. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation after the film. We're going to be here. I know you're not going to be available much longer as you go on your journey there, and Souvereign will hop in once he's back online. We have special guest Elijah Ray that is going to share some music and also some of his thoughts on what's going on in the world, because I think, Elijah, you share a lot of similar sentiments as we do here at Brave New Life and at Shae at Earth Heroes. So the outline for this is we'll be on for the next 45 minutes or so, and then we'll all break to watch the film, which will be on Earth Heroes TV platform. I'll put the link in the chat. And then we'll come back. For those of you that are in Brave New Life, you received the link on Zoom so that we could come into one of our community conversations to really glean the takeaways from that. So I would love to bring you on, Elijah, and I'm going to see if I can figure out doing a single screen share so you can be full screen. So I think if you unmute and come on, or there.
Thank you so much. And can you hear me, everyone?
Absolutely.
All right. I just want to say what a legend Shay is for being on a boat on the movie premiere day. He's like heading out to sea. That's just such a legend move. So I just want to say wholeness and balance, vibrations to everyone here. It's an honor to be a part of this this constellation of amazing, noble souls. I definitely see the beauty shining through each person here on the screen. To everyone at home who's watching this right now, this feels like a momentous occasion, and we all know it. We know we're up to something huge right now. We know that just the steps we're taking, whatever it looks like, whatever our personal contributions are, they're all like instruments in a symphony. That's how I see it right now. It's like we're all kind of like getting ourselves in tune so we can actually show up to make the real music, which is the regeneration, which is the actual co-creation of the more beautiful world we're here to be a part of. And Shay, I love you like a brother, man, because as soon as I saw you on that boat today, for those of you who don't know, I'm on the island of Kauai. So I'm actually streaming live from the middle of the ocean myself. And I go snorkeling every day right in my backyard, and I go meet Nemo and the turtles. And the dolphins, and every day I try to get in the water, because to me the water and the community of life that is existing right under the surface is, to me, a reminder of why I'm here, to remember that there's always something deeper afoot, that, you know, our movements on the surface of the lands are, you know, looking pretty imbalanced, and yet all you have to do is dive down and realize there's a whole, you know, other half to the story of how our impact affects the biome. So I like to get in the water every day as well, and you know, check out the reef issues here in Kauai. It's the same thing as you were saying, Brother Shay. There's definitely been a lot of damage and a lot of cleanup to do to rebalance the spectrum here. But I just want to say, I feel like just conversations like this, things that are happening in Earth Heroes, and all of the amazing people that are coming together right now, fill my heart with hope. I've been a musician and artist since I was 3 years old, so my main language is music. I don't generally talk a whole lot, but I just wanted to speak some words of love and respect.
Well, we love when you do, though, Elijah. So
Oh,
feel free to say as much as you want.
I appreciate you, sister. Can I just acknowledge, Imani, what a goddess you are, for you know, all the conversations you've been hosting and holding, you know, such a key role as spokes of the wheel coming together to have these conversations. So I really appreciate you inviting me into this circle. Yeah. And I do want to share a song here, but before I do, I just want to say, you know, to everyone who's watching, I wonder if you could just put your hand on your heart or just close your eyes for a moment and think of something that you are so grateful for. Tune into something that you are so grateful for about this moment in your life. It could be anything. It could be just something beautiful that happened to you. It could be a smile, like my brother River over here, smiling so bright. It could be just the fact that the sun is shining, something that you are grateful for about this moment of your life. If you could just breathe into that with me. Grandma always said that gratitude is the best attitude. And if we want to create something beautiful, we got to be something beautiful. So I just want to cultivate a little bit of beauty, a little bit of gratitude energy. I know there's a lot of issues and a lot of struggles right now, but let's just focus on one thing we're grateful for and generate this energy. And let's see if we can just blast this wave out to everyone who needs it right now. Oh, la 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 la. I'm grateful. I'm thankful for you. Are here in my life. I adore you. My only possessions are the pearls that you gave me. I'm grateful. Because to walk the path of light, it wasn't easy. But now I see it so clearly. You came into my life and now I know that you've always been there. Now I just want to say that I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I just want to say that I love you, babe. Yes, I just want to say I'm grateful. Oh, yes, I'm thankful. I'm growing, yes, I'm flowing like a river, and I'm not going to stop. I'm a giver, receiving, got my lessons, and I'm counting my blessings. I'm grateful, because to walk the path of light is getting easy. Yes, because now we see it so clearly. You came into my life and now I know that you've always been there. I'm grateful, cause to walk the path of light is getting easy. Cause now I see it so clearly. Yeah, yeah, you came into my life and now I know that you've always been there. Now I just want to say that I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I just want to say that I love you, baby. Yes, I just want to say that I love you, baby. Yes, I just want to say I'm grateful. Give thanks, family. All right.
Beautiful invocation there, Elijah.
We called in Sovereign, so I guess that works.
It worked.
All right. Much love from my heart to yours, everyone. Thanks for inviting me to this momentous occasion. I just want to add as much heart energy to this regeneration as possible, to not only the release of this film, which is just a perfect symbolic seed to plant on the equinox, but also the regeneration of our minds, the regeneration of our belief systems, the regeneration of the way that we behave and communicate to each other. I think that all these structures are in need of a reboot right now. And so I'm honored to play my part. Thank you all for playing your parts too.
Thank you, Elijah. I put your link in there for anyone that wants to tune in and have more of your good vibes and loving sounds. Thank you so much for just popping in. I know you have another event. You're busy equinox here. Everybody's doing things all around the globe. Would love for everyone to tell us where you're tuning in from, and very glad to have you come in, Sovereign. I'm glad that Elijah was able to pull you in. I wanted to just share a little bit about Brave New Life too, for people that are new to that and just tuning in, because a lot of what you were just saying, Elijah, is the kind of syntropic relating, this feeling-based relating that I know you're familiar with. And Sovereign, you've been really sharing with this love language of syntropy with our community, and that's sort of what you spoke to in the film. So I'd love to invite you to speak a little bit about Brave New Life, your Brave New Life, and this film that we're about to watch.
Yay, so nice to be here. I'm glad that I was able to join. It's really, it's a fascinating morning, really. Yeah, for me, it's been always about the life ways. Ever since I woke up to the reality that I can have a lot of ideas, but what's my consciousness in action? What am I bringing into expression? And I've done that significantly in my own humble way for my own self. And it's always been my piece and my part to find ways to create opportunities for others to also step into that. And in that, I'm a bit of a networker, a bridge maker. And yeah, I wanted to embark on my brave new life. And in that, I took an extravagant approach to create an online community so that what I feel is relevant to the human journey, the hero's journey, to rise ourselves out of whatever we have been operating in that may not fully feel as if it is really bringing us the fulfillment of what our spirit really came here to bring expression to. I felt that it would be really beautiful to create an environment and an ecosystem and a call to action for others to also deeply reflect on, am I being really all that I can be in this world? And it's been a great opportunity to be part of this Regeneration film that already got documented close to 2 years ago. And now we get an opportunity to watch it. And so much has changed in the process. So much growth has happened. And it's been a real catalyst for me in relating with Shay and everything that has come my way this past year to just be more of myself. And that's really the call to action, that the invitation for anyone to step into your brave new life, make the changes that you feel that you've known for a long time, that have kind of been there, but we were comfortable enough. And if last year wasn't the year to kind of really put everything into question, then I don't know. If last year wasn't enough, then maybe the coming year brings us even more opportunities, because that's what life does. Life brings these opportunities for growth and transformation and activation to us if we're willing to pay attention and if we're willing to hear the call. And so this is a call to adventure, a call to your own hero's journey, your own brave new life. And you're all welcome, if you're not already part of it, to join. Because in my reflections, I've really come to find the articulation that this new earth that we all carry as a dream seed within us, that new earth that begins with you, and it begins with me, and it begins with all of us individually. And from that place, then we can beautifully hold hands and steer our vehicles into that direction where we know we want to go. And we all know that. It's just about taking those first directional moves in our navigation to make the changes that we want to see in the world.
So Souvereign, I know that you invited others on that journey, part of your Brave New Life journey, 2 years ago. I'd love for you to introduce Jay and for you two to share, because you're the two that are on here today that were actually in the film featured. So if you could invite him on, and maybe the two of you could share a little bit of the behind the scenes or other perspectives of the film as we move into that part of the program.
Yeah, so nice to see you here, Jay. It's great that after all these years, our brother love is just ever growing, even from a distance. And it was beautiful. Jay came out to Vanuatu, where part of the film is placed, and there's just a lot of love. So much that we've navigated over the past years during my time in Australia. And welcome on, Jay. Please share something of your reflections. You were there at the live screening, the premiere on the ground in Australia. So good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Imani, and of course thank you to Shay, who's out on the reef today. Thank you, Souvereign. Thank you, Elijah, for bringing us in with that beautiful prayer-like tunes, so soothing, beautiful. And thank you to the others here, River and Christina. I am truly honoured to have the opportunity and humbled to see this face on the screen alongside others that are doing what we love to do in the world, and being showcased and put together in a way that is able to communicate, messages from our hearts, from our hands, through our minds to others, to bring about the awareness, the interaction, and ideally, with that emphasis on the integration of these changes that we make inside of ourselves, that we share with others in order to make those changes on the earth that we live, and not in an effort to try and save or stop or prevent or whatever, but actually in that effort to grow and evolve, and to do so from a place of symbiosis and syntropy, you know, that we are all connected, and that we're all part of this life form that is our Gaia. And as you've said there, Sovereign, over the years, wow, the journeys and the experiences from sitting with Indigenous elders here in Australia on country, and hearing ancient stories that have never been told outside of their mob, you know, outside of their small tribes, and then to being overseas, being in New Zealand with again elders from around the world, sharing messages now of rainbow people, of these tribes that transgress borders and nations, and the way now is for us to come together, and come together as humans, come together as a tribe, as a family across our planet, but come together with the planet, come together with our earth. And yeah, I really love that Earth Heroes is all about that. It's all about really communicating that, and that anybody is an Earth Hero, so should they choose to be. So I'm but one small drop in the ocean, one fish in the Great Barrier Reef, just doing my little thing and doing my part where I can. And it's always an honor and totally humbling. To have
Well,
the
Jay, I think
opportunity.
you're a big drop or a big fish. I mean, just curious so people can get an idea, and everybody's loving your accent. But the people to get an idea of what you're doing there in Australia now, and I know you've focused a lot around the regeneration, the agroforestry, the food, and if there's a call out, I think you had mentioned about working with the Indigenous, any call out that you want to do, or way people that can connect with you there with any of the projects that you're working on now.
Thanks, Imani. Yeah, so Jay Jackson, I mostly use Facebook as my media. When I do get time to put up the video, I typically work in the field of permaculture, design, consultation, and implementation. Project manager, so I'm working on several different projects at the moment, basically helping people develop food production systems on either small scale or larger scale properties, and incorporating syntropic agroforestry and agricultural principles, regenerative agriculture, and holistic management of our land. And I love to do that, and sometimes I struggle to be online as much as what people would like to see, because I'm often in the garden or in the forest.
I loved all the video footage of you with the dirt. That was really awesome. So yeah, that was great. I mean, it was so authentic. And that, I mean, we hear a lot of Sovereign's voice here at Brave New Life, but how would you define the shift to a more regenerative movement? I mean, I know we've been talking about permaculture, but this sort of agroforestry is a newer term for some people. And how are you applying that or seeing the shift happen as we really move towards this absolute essential need for humanity to really understand what's happening with our soil on the planet today?
Well, I think that if people understand that what happens inside of us in our own guts, our own microbiome, our own stomachs is somewhat similar to what's happening in our soil. When we get sick, when our bacteria, when our flora and fauna inside of us is out of balance or unhealthy, we as a being get sick and get unhealthy, and that's what's happened to our soils across the planet. And so the movement of regenerative agriculture is about regenerating the land while still being able to utilize the gifts and the resources that our land brings. So I see people waking up either by making food choices, is huge. The way agriculture impacts our environment is huge across the planet, and realizing that in order to continue to feed, you know, the billions of people from these resources that our Earth gives us, we really need to reconsider. And that is happening. That is happening in so many different ways, in so many different institutes or schools or studies, you know, or industries now that are catching on, and farmers and people are waking up about the choices that we can make as consumers, the choices that we make as business owners, and the way that we then can go out into the world and make those changes, you know, with our hands as well, by choosing to vote with our fork, by choosing to petition or campaign for policy change, and by also joining organizations or aligning with businesses that are eco-friendly and regenerative and proactive into a greener future, into making those changes that we need to see to improve water quality, you know, reduce the land loss, reduce soil degradation, and ultimately replenish the nutrients and the life in our soil, so that when we're eating the plants, we're getting those nutrients and that life in our bodies. It's all connected, and people are realizing that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've been talking about that for quite some time too. I ran an organic cafe for a decade where I homeschooled my 6 children, and our curriculum was all around food and those kinds of issues. So I love what you're saying. Zach Bush is in the film. He's gotten a lot of recognition with his work, talking about the gut and the microbiome, and obviously the farmer's footprint, which I think you all are paralleling there in Australia. It just warms my heart to know that there are people, you know, seeds all over the planet that are really, this consciousness that's emerging is, you know, that mycelium web that's connecting all of us is letting this knowledge that has been here forever come through, and that we're all on the same path and we're all interwoven and connected. I'd love to I think this is a good time to bring you into the conversation, Christina, and you're a new voice on our platform at New Earth and Brave New Life. But I think this is like from my book, which was called The Absence of Soil, because I had a revelation about 10 years ago that we wouldn't have a future if we didn't have any soil. And that's where I really got tuned into this issue. And that was sort of what connected me and Souvereign, and really moving through these sovereign solutions, not just the ideas, but the applications of how we're really birthing this new earth. And we use a lot of metaphors around birthing and creation and all of that. We're rewriting it because I have a lot more to say, and Souvereign is going to add his bits and pieces around syntropy in it. So the new version is going to come out soon. But in the first part of my book, Christina, I put this is a Vedic scripture. So this is definitely perfect for you because of all the work you do with Vastu and really understanding the land from a really sacred sense of going back, way back into the traditions. So it said, upon this handful of soil, our life depends. Husband it, and it will grow our food and our shelter and surround us with beauty. Abuse it, and it will collapse and die and take humanity with it. So I'd love to open up the conversation with you, Christina. Now, I know you're focused more around the structures on the land, but they are in relationship to the earth. I would, you know, like to hear your lovely voice and poetry in this added to the conversation.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me today on this beautiful equinox celebration of a film called Regeneration. So great to be with all of you. My contribution to this conversation, as I was taking in and drinking in the waters of everybody's beautiful sharings, I felt like a seed. I felt like a seed that was being watered. And it came to me that our journey, our contribution, this call to action that we're hearing to contribute to this new earth, is this taking in of nourishment and also this self-watering process. And why is that relevant with Vedic structures? So the Vedic path is in nurturing the unseen energies and knowingness of what is arising from the land and what is coming down to us from the cosmos and where it meets in the middle. And these unseen worlds, these unseen frequencies are all around us. And while we are focusing on things that we're taking in through our 5 senses, we see the waters, we see the earth and the soil, and we see the microbiome, and we're we're understanding the parts and how they fit together in this mycelium web, but enlarging that conversation to the frequencies of energy and communication that are constantly at work around us, that are unseen in nature, which is in and of itself our deeper connection with our spirit and our wholeness and our hearts. So all of those things fit so beautifully together for me as a seed consciousness, as this being that's being watered by the frequencies of ideas and energy and sharings and the beautiful music. And as all of it is permeating, there's a kind of a knowingness, a kind of a clock ticking inside, like a seed that has an awareness of when it's called into action. When is it my time to contribute? And that authentic arising that comes from tuning in to our own sacred rhythm, in the case of temples, our own sacred measures, our balance of the 5 elements on this earth, our awareness of these subtle energies will allow us to tune into that perfect time, our perfect timing, and our own unique call to action, which could be silence, which could be receptivity, it could be direct movement into contribution. But it's so beautiful how unique each seed is. That's what came.
I always love when you speak. You're just like so beautiful, Christina. Always. You're such a beautiful sister. I'm so grateful for our paths crossing through this brave new life journey, this brave new life ways. And it's perfect segue to bring in River to the conversation, because both of you came in through this seed that Souvereign and I planted when Souvereign had this idea to embark on the brave new life, and I decided to go along with it. And so we've been hosting these community conversations for months now, where hundreds of people are tuning in from around the world just to share really everything that they're feeling and what's going on. And this is the infrastructure for these, the interior part of the exterior that's emerging. So whether, however that seed is, and I love that you bring in this kind of the timing, the divine timing in this orchestration. So the overlap of us meeting in Mexico and then bringing in River, who you and Abi doing the Vedic sort of structures, and then River being the bioarchitecture aspect and moving into, working with the materials that you've been dreaming about, hemp in particular, and building these living structures, was a perfect kind of synergy. So it's a good, and River, we've talked a lot about the term and the terms around like regeneration versus sustainability. I'd love for you to speak to that, because there's so much, as we've been all transitioning in our understanding and expanding our capacity for really what's going on, and some of us recognizing that we're standing in a place different than what we had thought some time ago. So I'd love to open up the conversation for you to share.
Thank you, Imani. Thanks, Jay. Lovely to connect with you here. And Souvereign, of course, brother. Christina, thanks for creating that imagery in my mind. It's bringing us back to what's important, I think, which is that inner reality that we're all working through, which Souvereign talks so eloquently about. And, my journey has led me, down a lot of pathways through the corporate world of architecture and building in many countries. And then, kind of transitioning out of that reality a few years ago to really focus on what matters and how to come back into balance with nature. And it was tough in the beginning, because I think there's a lot of fear around it all, and a lot of blame and guilt and shaming going on, that seemed to me to not be productive. And that's why I love this word regeneration, because it speaks to what we're all going through collectively, individually, and the nature. And where I really struggled with a lot of the old dialogue around the emergency that we have in front of us kind of thing. And I really struggled with that, because I felt like you know, what happens to us when we go into the guilt and into them spaces? We become unproductive. We're not able to move, actually, and it's only when we really come into love that we can be open enough to receive. And sustainability, like you said, Imani, it's just it was such a strong word that I used a lot in my early days in kind of looking into ecological design and materials, and it didn't really make sense, because everything is sustainable. I mean, war is sustainable, but do we really want to sustain that? And I think regeneration just really hits it on the head. It's like we've moved to this next phase where we don't need to keep pointing the finger. We can actually embody it, and be that template ourselves through our own regeneration. It's really, you know, kind of beautiful to be able to have these kind of discussions around this topic, because I think it is so dynamic right now, and 2020 just moved us and shifted so many people, I think, into a new way of relating to each other and to the natural world. We all of a sudden, it's not a park, and it's not this. It's becoming, where can we go to be at home in nature? And then, you know, for me, bringing in the materials like the hemp, getting a relationship with hemp, you know, it's been a beautiful journey, connecting with such an amazing plant, a sacred plant.
You've been on a brave new life journey too, like Souvereign. You two have paralleled. So you have your film coming out where you actually use your own hands to build that hemp house on the off the grid. So I would love. I know people are so curious about the hemp, but I think talking about it as this living material that's truly regenerative, paint that picture. I put up the website for you.
I mean,
that wants to learn more.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, to you know, we've been living generally in coffins a little bit too early, and it's time that we really created these living structures. And like Christina's talking about, you know, these structures, you know, they pick up on energies, and we can really work with that understanding of how energy is working and how things are flowing, and intention, and all of these unseen elements to our lives. And hemp is one of them tools in the tool belt. It's a living material, and when we, you know, kind of create our homes with it, we're creating a filter that's not only filtering out moisture in the air and potential, you know, harmful elements in the air. It's also giving us some EMF protection. It's mold resistant, rot resistant. So we're really starting to kind of love ourselves again. You know, if you love yourself, you build yourself a hemp house. You know,
I love it.
because you're
I'm
really, you know, it's like
myself a hemp house. But it's so much of what Christina said too. It's like about that capacity to receive. I mean, and hemp is so abundant, and it really, I think it's really relevant for all of us to remember how infinitely abundant, generous, and giving Gaia is. That Mother Earth really wants us to receive. It's not about scarcity. It's not about deprivation. It's not about so much of the story that we've been sold, and it's really about it's time for us to change that narrative and remember that this is an infinitely abundant earth that we're walking on. I know we're coming to the top of the hour, and often when Souvereign starts talking, it can extend for a period of time. So I want to give him some space to close this part out before we dive into the film. Now that we've kind of created this container, Souvereign, of what we're moving into. Obviously, we're going to watch the film together, and I'll put up the link on the Earth Heroes platform, and then we'll join in the conversation after for anyone that wants to join us to really chat about all of the takeaways. But what could you share to kind of glean in as far as how this brave new life journey that you embarked it on and brought us to this moment here, that you want to share about this revolutionary shift in consciousness that's happening right now at this most perfect time? You're muted. Unmute. Thank you. Can you unmute? me see if I can't unmute. You have to unmute yourself.
Yay. It's all very simple, Imani. And thanks for that. We have a tendency in our modern day world to use a whole bunch of really extravagant word sounds to make things feel as if like they're the biggest thing ever that we're doing. And for me, it's been about finding this entropic syntax, the languaging that is humble, that is meek, that is simple. And if we can't articulate things in a simple way, then probably they aren't even real, because you can't really connect with them. So a lot of these concepts and these ideas or ideologies about a whole range of transformational ways that we can be living, they're only just a means, a tool to call into being, into activation, some of that internal source energy that we all have. And I found that if we, through feeling-based relating, authentic relating, without all the dopamine hitting languaging, that there is a problem and we need to fix this and we need to, that there is, the syntropic nature of life doesn't operate on a need. It operates on a intrinsic strategy, and all of life is wired to that and from that and with that. And it does so pretty effortlessly. I haven't really communicated with a lot of trees, but I can imagine that if I was to sit with them and ask like, hey bro, are you ever struggling? Like, is life suffering? Like, it hasn't been raining for a while. How do you feel about that? The trees, life, nature, it is operating in an unconditional state of being. It is in acceptance of what is, and it navigates with what is. It doesn't really go into, can I accept this? Can I not accept it? It is in the business of isness. And it does so very, very flawlessly and effortlessly. And I think that therein lies a beautiful reminder for all of us humans that we have complexified, whatever we want to call it, is a complex word in itself, this matrix, and the solutions and the solutions born from within. I feel that in their most effective form, they're actually really quite simple, and in that there is a little bit of undoing and a little bit of letting go, and kind of becoming aware of an entropic mindset, a control-based, scarcity and lack-based mentality that we've been programmed into more than anything, because it's not part of how life operates. Life is wired for abundance. And so when we reattune ourselves in our mind song and we tend our mind gardens in a way that we engage with the natural world and how life does it, and we apply those principles and those awarenesses onto our own, the cultivation of our own internal ways of being, we are just returning to something that's really beautiful. It's very sweet, it's simple, and it's also very powerful and potent, because we are not just resilient, but we have amazing capacity to transform an ecosystem that we are let's put it this way, we are the gardeners. That's how I see it. And that's a beautiful role that we have on this earth as the species that we are, is that we are the ones that can, with our awareness and with our inquisitive ability to inquire, how can we assist life? How can we accelerate growth? And not that we can make time speed up, but we can navigate with life, with those natural principles, with those natural strategies, and enhance the function of each of these species that are having their own unique purpose and function in each ecosystem. And so returning ourselves to the soil connects us again to our soul. And I feel that that's something that's not very difficult, because All it takes is a willful intention to say, yeah, I want to go save some seeds. I want to go plant some seeds. And in the film that we're going to be watching, there's a whole range of inspiring, what humans choose to do, to give expression to their gift, to their talent. And that's the invitation, really, is for each of us to feel into what is my humble and my meek ability to contribute to this world. And in that, when we do that, I think we shine brighter than we dare to think we could.
I think we're shining pretty bright, Sovereign. That was really beautiful. So if anyone's just tuning in, we're going to be watching the Regeneration film. I'll put the link on the platform. It looks like Shay is popping back in right in the perfect, most divine time. Let's see if we can pull him in from the river. Oh, you're in a new spot, Shay. You came in at the most perfect time, Shay. Sovereign just finished speaking, and we were just saying we're going to move onto the Earth Heroes platform to watch the film together, the Regeneration Film, your film. Anything you want to add?
Thanks, Imani. I have been listening to the conversation on the boat on the way over, and I find myself here on this beautiful tropical island. And just one thing I want to add, which was really potent message from a beautiful lady called Maria Gillies, who joined us on the ground screening on Thursday night in Cairns. And she's a seed saver. She works to save non-GMO, organic heirloom seeds. And the message was all about seeds and the potential and the power, the exponential growth that one seed has. And at the film screening, we have a beautiful mandala seed laid out for everyone to witness the power that is in one seed. And this movie is an opportunity to be a seed in your mind, in your heart, to explore the exponential potential that a seed has to be able to grow new information, new opportunities, a new experience to create new life, to create a regenerative way of living and being in the world. And it's really exciting time to be alive. And I just hope that this film becomes that seed for you on ways that you can embark on your new brave life.
Love it. So beautiful, Shay. It's just incredible. So it's just been awesome to bring all of us together. Everybody's saying, feeling the love and light that we're pushing out to the world in this beautiful wave that's just reaching so many people. I mean, we've got people tuning in from all over. So we're going to move on to the Earth Heroes TV platform. I'm going to put the link in the chat. And so we'd love for people to join us over there. And then we'll be having a conversation after. And for anybody that's just tuning in to Brave New Lives, you can find out more about what we're about at bravenewlife.net. Put in the links for Haven Earth as well. And I put in the link for Sovereign's course on syntropy. So if any of this is inspiring you or activating that internal seed within you, this is the invitation for you to take action, and whatever action that is, whether it's being silent in meditation or planting a garden or connecting with other people and giving them a hug wherever you are, or a kiss, but just really spreading this loving energy out on this beautiful equinox. So much gratitude for all of you, so much gratitude for Gaia, for our earth, for all of us coming together and really leveraging this film, Shay, to be the inspiration, the catalyst for change that we all came here to be. So really just so appreciative of and everyone that's just tuning in. So the link is up there. We'll meet you on the other side, and please share this with anyone that you feel might be inspired as well. Thank you all. Bye, everyone.